President Zelensky knows what we're doing, and most of cities in Ukraine, they order these movies, and that's how we are giving back to the community.
Yeah, so everything comes back to people and who you know.
When you become a startup founder, people say, okay, how much did you raise? How many clients do you have? Do you have revenues?
That's so cute.
If you are not thinking about your project in the shower, then don't start it.
Trust your gut, trust yourself.
It's not hard to raise money as long as you have talent, as long as you are passionate about doing business. I'm sometimes comparing this feeling to Jennifer Lopez, because she's always dancing, and I don't know, she never stops.
What do you think is your biggest failure to date as a first-time CEO?
I wanted to be a nice girl, and that's a big mistake. I lost like a couple of years of my life because of that. It doesn't matter that you have other co-founders. You are a CEO, and it's on you. You make a final decision.
Welcome to episode 9 of the First Time CEO podcast. Today my guest is Iryna Savytska, the co-founder and CEO of Bank of Memories. She has over 4 years of experience in Korean tech and attracted over $15 million in investment. In 2023, she was named one of the top 9 women in Ukraine by the EIT Digital Red Kalina Award, recognized among the top 19 women in tech by the Women Tech Network in Silicon Valley in 2021, and in 2020, she was honored as one of the top 20 women in tech entrepreneurship in Ukraine, according to USAID. We've discussed turning personal loss into purpose-driven innovation, navigating the CEO role through natural leadership and team realignment, raising $500,000 without initial traction and the power of vision and belief, balancing security and simplicity when building tech products for families, supporting Ukraine with digital memorials and meaningful community impact, female leadership from investor bias to saying no with confidence, and more. And with that said, I invite you to join us.
Hello. This is the First Time CEO podcast, and I'm your host, Victoria. I am the co-founder and the first time CEO of Olympia. We provide entrepreneurs with AI teams. And if you would like to streamline your operations, I will leave the link to one-on-one demo with me below in the show notes. And here with me today in the studio, I have Iryna. Iryna, hi, how are you doing?
Hi, thank you, Victoria, for inviting me. That's pretty exciting. We're both first-time CEOs and women entrepreneurs, so it's super exciting to share the knowledge.
Absolutely. Female business leaders. I love showcasing what women are doing in the world, and especially Ukrainian women today in such a hard time. So tell me, what inspired you to launch Bank of Memories?
Yeah, so Bank of Memories, it's my platform that we are building together with my husband, and we launched it for our family because we had a hard situation, like a really difficult time in my family when my mother-in-law she was sick and she passed away, and then we understood that even though we had different places where to store memories and some documents and assets, then we end up having like 10% of all of that important information, and we thought that like what should I show then to my kids in the future about their grandma? So basically nothing. And we decided that we have to build some safe place that will be like a vault in the bank that will be able to transfer everything that is really important to our kids. And then, of course, the mission grew, and from just a simple product for families, we started generating more little products that serve families. So that's how we started. We actually met with my husband. It was a really interesting story that he came to me just to ask for advice as a mentor, because I was there I was at an event, and we raised $3 million for a previous startup where I had a leadership role. And then he wanted to raise funding, and that's how we met. He was asking me questions, and then I thought, wow, that's an interesting idea. And then I wanted to invest. And then we decided that let's co-found it and let's build it together. And we end up building the family. So that's how it was.
That's so cute. Fate brought you together.
Yeah.
So what's the core mission of your business?
Well, the main mission is that all people around the world who care about family relations or some close relations with other people can have a safe space where there won't be any advertising or anything that I'm trying to sell, upsell to them. It will be just a simple platform that can import data quickly. So the mission is just to focus people on the core of their life, to focus them on themselves, on their plans in the future, and on their feelings of the past. Somehow, to focus people on their dreams, what they want to achieve, and so that they can check from their birth until now how they did, and in the future what they still can do. So that's the mission, just to make that focus for people.
Okay, so for myself, I see two directions here. So one is to keep the memories of the dear people to your heart that, for example, passed away. And another direction is to keep track of your dreams, keep track and memories of your childhood, your upbringing, the loved ones that were raising you. So mostly, what is the use case here? What people are using the app mostly for? It's the mobile app, right?
Yeah, that's the mobile app. When we built the first MVP, we had 15,000 families using our product. The most interesting use case was that people were capturing some amazing emotional moments, something very emotional that will be lost in the cloud. So usually people are losing everything that matters to them in iCloud or Google Drive. There are a lot of things. So they were recording that into Bank of Memories, and also voice. Many people were storing the voice of their parents, of someone they miss. So just wanted to keep the voice and some dear messages, memories. That was the one case. Then one more case was sending messages to the future. People were just sending, preparing something emotional and interesting and sending it time capsules like a couple of years ahead for the relatives. But then we realized that our app was slow and there was no AI integration there. So we decided to rebuild it, to make life of our customers seamless, to make data upload automatic from Google Drive, from Meta products, to make that automatic. That was the core thing. And while we were working on this, we realized that assets are also important. It also happened to me when my dad last year, he had a stroke, and he is a business owner, and we were really scared that he couldn't talk, and we didn't know what's going on with the business, because we have our own projects and jobs. So we were not involved in that family business. And then I realized that some kind of knowledge sharing, asset sharing, something that is not public, should be shared within Bank of Memories too, so that I can then, if something happens, I can take it over.
Let's say, what is the difference between Instagram and Bank of Memories, just so our audience understands?
Yeah, so in Instagram, there's a philosophy of sharing everything publicly, and that's mainly a picture or a video. In Bank of Memories, we are not sharing publicly, and whatever we are sharing is stored in full quality, and you can always download it in a full quality. Then it's not only about pictures and videos. You can have voice, you can have a document, and everything is very secure. So Instagram, yes, they have some kind of security there, but our product is similar in terms of security, similar to WhatsApp, for example, or Signal. We do have IPFS, which is kind of a decentralized storage system. So basically, when someone breaks in your account, they cannot see anything. So when they break in Instagram account, they just hack you. That's it. When they try to get into your Bank of Memories account, they see nothing.
Okay, so it's super private and secure.
It's super private and secure.
Yeah. It's not something to boast and share on public. Look how beautiful my life is.
No.
It's absolutely private for you, for your intimate moments, for your family business.
Yeah, you can add, for example, sometimes it happens that people don't have family. It can happen, but they have close friends, or they don't have parents, but they have their wives and husbands and kids. So that's their family, and we are focusing. It's just the main point is that we are not showing off that we have a beautiful life. We are focusing on a reality. And for example, my husband has a very interesting tradition. Every year he combines very funny pictures of me, where it's not the best picture ever, and always like a terrible video, I want to delete it. So he just combines it in a movie and he sends it to me as a gift, and he said, look how cute you are. But we can share it in Bank of Memories.
What motivated you to step into the CEO role of this project?
Well, it happened naturally. My husband used to be a CEO, but we realized that he's more like a creator, enthusiast, and product designer. So he knows how it will look and how it will work, and I am more a business person. Even though we both did business before, but he is more about inspiration and like a heart of the project. I call him a heart of the project. Then I'm a head of the project, and we still have a body. Body is our CTO, who is like making it happen.
You said that you raised money for previous startup. So what led you to this role in your career?
Well, I used to be a corporate person, and when I worked for corporates, I used to manage deals, like different deals of $10 million, and that was just a normal deal for us. Then I used to work for South Korean businesses, and they were interested in Europe, so we were working with them, and I knew what the successful business project, successful investment project looks like. So that's how I got the feeling of what it should be and how it should be, and technology too. And then when I started my role at the startup as an employee, it was not my startup, but we were raising money as a team. We had a couple of C-level executives working hard to raise the money, and then I realized that actually it's not hard. It's not hard to raise money as long as you have talent, as long as you are passionate about doing business. I'm sometimes comparing this feeling to Jennifer Lopez, because she's always dancing, and I don't know, she never stops. And she once said that she really loves working hard, so she loves it, and I love it too. So I'm just when I'm working, I feel so energetic and passionate, and that's how I found out that actually it's not hard to raise money, it's not hard to build products. So every word that you are saying should make sense to you, to your team, to your investors. And sometimes when I made my decks in the past, when I felt that something is unclear and it doesn't make sense to me, I even didn't bother to go to investors and talk to them, because I knew I will fail. So only after I realized here is the thing and this matters and this is how I'm gonna fix it and this is how much money I need, only then I started talking to investors and they were started giving me money. So it's kind of easy. You just need to realize everything for yourself. That's how we changed so he's now COO. My husband is now managing operations and everything around the company, and I'm responsible for fundraising and for customer development and for our brand. It's just working out better in these roles.
Okay. What was hard and what early challenges did you face as a new CEO?
I think it was about team. So we had an idea a long time ago, but because we didn't have a team, of course I could have hired outsource team and build something. But if you want to build a startup and it should be $100 million and more in valuation, you definitely have to have in-house team. You have to have other co-founders, and co-founders they are like your family members, so it's really hard to find them. And we were lucky that we had a couple of people who joined together with us, but they I would not say they gave up. They had different plans in life and they did not expect it would take so long to develop something and so much money that we needed for that. But the team, to build a really loyal team, those people who will not go and who will continue, even though we were failing a couple of times, it was hard. We realized that we designed a first MVP that was clunky, that was too private, too secure, and people didn't like that. They were using it, but they were not enjoying it as much. So then we did not fail. I think it's just an experience. But our technical team could have said, sorry, we don't want to continue. But they said, okay, let's take a break and let thinking over, and then maybe we will come up with something else. And we started building that other product called Digital Memorial, where we are making movies about people in Ukraine who passed, and we are making these movies and they are generating revenue for us. And that was another hard moment. So that after the team, the revenue, that if you don't have the revenue, you have a really hard time. You need to decide, should you quit? Should you join some corporate again? I don't want to go back. So, and how to keep my team. So yes, it took us 6 months to do the research, to understand what it should look like. We researched all the internet together, and now the new app will be launched this summer. And we did not raise any investments for that. It was only money from L'Oreal. We were winners of a competition, top women entrepreneurs who are leading some interesting companies with social impact. And then second, we won Seeds of Bravery grant of 60,000 euros. So in general, this money is totally enough to cover our development. But those 2 moments with the team and that always cash gaps, that was really, really troublesome for me.
I can relate a lot. I will not start my story here because today is about you, but I can relate absolutely 100%. Especially cash gaps and when you need to understand what are you doing further. This hard choice, So how does your service support Ukrainians now in this hard time?
So we, when war started, full scale, we were refugees because it was very close to our home that Russian soldiers were killing people. Bucha, it was a terrible place. And when it became really, really dangerous, we took, so my husband, I was frozen, I couldn't move, I was so scared. But my husband, he just packed my stuff, in a plastic bag because we couldn't find our luggage. So we were just packing quickly, and then my parents came with my siblings, and then we took 2 cars that we had, and we went to the border with Moldova, because Poland was totally packed. It's impossible, like all the highways were blocked. So it was 2022 was really hard. So we couldn't understand what to do next. I couldn't find some team members because they were all across Ukraine and in Poland, and I couldn't reach them when war started. So I was really scared that maybe something happened to them. Luckily, nothing happened. It's just we were all busy to take our families to safety. And in 2023, when the situation became a little better, I used to be in Italy, and then in California. I was invited with my husband by Tim Draper, a billionaire, to Draper University to develop our startup, and it was just before war, a couple of months before we got that invitation. And then war started, and he said, okay, I'm not going with you, you're going alone to California and trying to build your network there and see what chances do we have for Bank of Memories. So
Your husband said that, because
yeah,
it seems like Draper's.
okay, yeah, my husband said. I'm sure Tim Draper would say the same. But yeah, I was there alone. And then coming back to your question, what do we do now to support Ukrainian families? In 2023, we also we set up an NGO called Memories of Ukraine. So that project is especially dedicated to families of fallen heroes. There are a lot of men, also ladies too, but mostly men. They died, and most of these families and kids, they have trauma. So what we are doing for them, we are doing these short movies about their family members, and we are putting those movies in public spaces. So we connect with Bank of Memories, with augmented reality in our app. We connect a picture that you have on the memorial with the QR code that you can scan and directly see the movie. That's our new product that I told you that we launched. We did it for my husband's mom, and then we did it again for our friend who died in 2014, and then it was 2020, I think. We did it too. It's just did it for ourselves. But then some other people saw these films and they wanted it. So now President Zelensky knows about what we're doing, and most of cities in Ukraine, they order these movies for communities, and that's how we are giving back to the community. We are not charging a lot, we are just covering our costs and then just a little margin there. If we had to do it somewhere outside Ukraine, of course for civilians it would be a market price, but what we're doing now for Ukraine, we are just we think it's our mission. We are about memories, and it would be weird if Ukrainians in Ukraine are not preserving memories of these people.
That's wonderful. I love this project with QR codes, and that you show them in public places, and also their families have such a wonderful memory, like forever.
Yeah. And they are happy because they are not forgotten. So what pain I see here is that both veterans and family members of those who died, they both are afraid of being lost somewhere in papers as just some numbers. They just want to be remembered and want to be supported. So everything they want, they don't want money or some compensations or anything. They just want that their family member, the hero, can be remembered, and they can be supported from the community, so that the community is aware that there is a family like that, and they need probably some mental support. That's all. And that's what we're doing, just helping them and showing them support. It's really, you need to be trained to talk to people like that.
Yeah, it takes guts, and I think marketing and content strategy, you probably have it very smart because it's a sensitive topic. So yeah, it's interesting how you present that with content and how you sell that. Maybe we can go to the nitty-gritty of that.
That's that really surprised me, because first day we launched just a Google form to register an interest for this digital memorial. We got maybe 100 entries, and then in a couple of days, I think by the end of the month, we already had 1,000. So 1,000 people wanted to have it. And then now when we are working with the government, we are usually not calling them or not doing some cold calls or anything. So when we did in Kiev region, then some other smaller cities are visiting. They can see our logo, they can see the movie, they can see the results, and they find us by logo, and they call us.
Where do they find you? Are those malls or
in public spaces? So it can be City Hall. It can be, we have LA of Fame, LA of Heroes. We have a different architecture, like a monument, a memorial. They're very popular now. Many people are there. So there they scan the code, and there they can see the movie, and there they can see the logo, and they think, oh, we need this for our city,
or our son that passed away on the front line.
Yeah, or like this. Of course, we do have a website for civilians too, because civilians struggle too, and we keep the prices the same, very low, and we just want to help Ukrainians to preserve memory in a modern way. But I realized that we are just having a website and just doing targeting in Facebook, and just to show them that this exists. And then additionally, we do have support from bloggers. Like this month I had coverage, an integration with the blogger. She had 1.5 million followers, and of course after that it's just a PR. So of course after that we did have a lot of requests for digital memorial, and in general a new app. Many families left their interest to download the app when it's live. So this helps too, but the main channel is now still B2G. We're working B2G to C. So the end consumer will be still the family or a community, and that's the main channel. And usually when I'm closing the big clients, I'm closing them as a CEO myself, so no extra support. And then only after that, when we already finished these big projects, then smaller cities are coming and saying, hey, we want to have the same, can you do the same quality, the same everything for us? And we do it for them. Now I realized that the need is that big that we couldn't make it. So we can't make it even in 10 years if we continue working the same as we work. So imagine 40,000 people. If we want to preserve memory of all of them, I don't know how many years we need to do it, because now per year we are doing 1,000 movies if we are doing it on our own. So what we did, we created a CRM system under Bank of Memories that is helping to create content, to preserve memory, and to make the movie. And it's a SaaS product. It's also separate from the app. It's just a SaaS product for Ukrainian government, and all of them, every small village can buy it. It's like super cheap. I think it's like $300 a year, and they can do everything. We can teach them whatever we can do to preserve memory and make the movie, they can also learn to do it. Every person in their department or some volunteer in their community can do it. And then we can just do 100x of our impact.
Now you mentioned that you gonna have a new app in summer. How many active users do you have? Do people stay? How do you retain them?
We do have a newsletter. We are talking to them. They're our early users, and most of them, like many of them, I had a personal onboarding before. We had a community. We had a community in California. Those people who are using. We have people in Europe. And they do have their data in Bank of Memories, and it won't be.
Okay. So they are hooked. They have their memories there, so nobody wants to lose that, right? So that's a good incentive to still come back, right?
Yeah, so right now we are just focusing on Ukraine because the situation is like this. But we have a strategy to grow in the US and in Europe, Western Europe especially. They're very family focused. And I talked to many people in the US just to understand what will be the best way to grow in the US. And I've heard already from many people that our existing products, the digital memorial, for example, can be a good addition to a life insurance or to other insurances that exist in the US. So that's pretty unique because in Europe and in Ukraine and in other parts of the world, insurance is not that advanced, is not that well developed. But that's how we are planning to grow. We will go in the US to insurances and also to just families, to B2C. And we'll see how it will go. I know the rule that if you want to make a product for 1 billion people, it has to be free, so a free product, but with some additional options. And I also think because we don't have advertising and we are not planning, then more people will join. People usually enjoy that they can, focus and concentrate on their task. Many people are switching off.
Advertising inside the app, right?
Yeah. Imagine when you're focusing on something and you're just enjoying your memory and listening to the voice that is dear to your heart, and then you suddenly see them, boom, some ad. And you're like, what do you mean?
Yeah, but many apps use that for upsell, pay more and you won't have ads. You don't want to do that?
That it is colliding. So it's just you're destroying a good feeling. When you have a good feeling, you're in your memories, in your dreams, you're planning something, you're enjoying that moment, and then something comes up.
Yeah, that's very humble of you. That's very humble.
Feel good.
That's a very humble approach. How have your sales and expansion efforts influenced investor relations? I think you raised money, right?
Yeah, almost $500,000 so far. So of course, investors want to know the channels, and they want to know CAC, and then LTV and churn. They want to know all the metrics. But when I got my first investors, I didn't have any results and any metrics. I just had a vision and understanding that it's like super logical, and many people just believed in me. So early, they only can feel your power, you can only feel your energy, and somehow they just know you will do it. And that's about angel investors. But those who invested a little later, when we already had processes and we had product, for them it was important to know my steps 3 years ahead. Well, I say, guys, you don't know what will happen tomorrow, but of course you can plan something. Even today I can tell you something, but I don't know whether it will happen in 3 years from now. But that's my plan, and that's how I want to do it and how I want to reach it. my sales, I divide sales into 3 parts. One is just an automatic part that is targeting, and usually Facebook, not Instagram, usually Facebook, and people are buying from there. That's mainly B2C. Then B2G, that is only personal, like relationship I need to build with them, because that's government money. They need to trust us, they need to double check everything on us, so that's a totally different level of sales. And then we also have that when we are talking to companies, we can sell it to companies, as I said, to insurances. That's also a third approach. So for each one I have a plan, and for each one I know how much will be one client, and so this customer acquisition cost and LTV is like must. You need to know it.
As a female founder, what obstacles did you have during the fundraising process?
So maybe I was just lucky that when I started my career, when 16 years ago, 16 years ago, I started it in Western Europe, and there you have a very tolerant environment, so people treat you equally and you earn money equally as well. Then when I went to China, I was working in Shanghai in 2013-14, and I realized that there that culture is totally different. But because my department was international, I think people from 10 countries, it was also good. But then when I joined startups, you suddenly become no one. So you suddenly become zero. Like no one, as people knew that you were a part of a corporate, it's cool, and they wanted to talk to you because you could help them to do something. But then you become a startup founder, and they're like, what are you doing? What is that? I mean, they don't understand. And they start treating you not like with disrespect, but like they're looking at you like you're a little funny.
In China?
In China too. In China and everywhere else, I felt that when you become a startup founder, people say, okay, how much did you raise? How many clients do you have? Do you have revenue? So they are treating you like you're a school student with your, paper boat project. And they really, yeah. And then when you are asking for money, I was just lucky that I am a strong personality, and somehow people feel from my energy that I'm not giving up, and I continue doing what I'm doing, whatever you say. And I had a couple of weird situations with investors when a guy, I will not say the nationality, but anyway, he just looked at me and asked, how old are you? Can you really manage my money? And he was so surprised that I even asked. So what I did, I say what do you mean? I pretended I don't understand. I said what do you mean? And all friends around me were also turning back and looking at him yeah, what did you mean? And it was a super awkward moment, and that was probably the only one big awkward moment about fundraising. And no one asked me any weird question again. So in fundraising, if we talk about practicalities, you have to decide. That was my mistake. I did not decide whether I'm raising or not raising. So you need to make it clear. If you're raising, you need to know how much and why. So you need to be clear with yourself. It's not average in the industry is 2 million, so I will raise 2 million. By the way, I'm planning to raise 2 million, but it's not because it's an industry average, it's because I need 2 million and I know where I will spend it, invest it. So that from the practicalities, you need to decide if you're raising, then you need to put everything aside. And like a crazy person, you need to focus on fundraising and doing it every day. Per week, you want to have around 30 meetings. If you want to close the round, of around 2 million. You need and 2 million in around 3 to 6 months. You need 30 meetings per week. If someone is saying, oh, I want to invest 50k, and you say, yeah, I don't plan to raise, but yeah, give me your 50k. Believe me, this 50k will not do anything for you, nothing good. So better skip it, or better take it, but then quickly understand what you will do next until you run out of cash. So that's with fundraising is like super important. First, to behave with respect to others, and second is to decide whether you're raising or not raising. Super important.
Yeah, and stay strong, facing all the comments and challenging questions, especially from male investors, right?
I just ignore them. I just like, okay, good. I'm just smiling, I just behave like everything is so good, and you just don't care, because if you take it personally, it can break you. So why would you take it personally? And it happened to me many times already that around 5 to 10 people said that my project is not good, but now they're inviting me to speak, and to talk to the audience, and they did not believe in what I was doing like several years ago, but now they see how strong I am, and I just don't care, and they say, okay, yeah, I accept you.
Can you share a success story that highlights the community impact of your product?
So people are coming to Bank of Memories and they're not alone. You have nothing to do in Bank of Memories if you're alone there, and you're taking with you a couple of people. So that's already a community effect. And one more community effect that we had is just we shared a referral code, and people were connecting in one group through that referral code, and still they were then inviting their family members. So I have data that in general people invite 5 people. So one person invite another 5 people to be in Bank of Memories, and now we are working on the mechanics to make, for example, Bank of Memories a free access for those who invited 5 people or 3 people. I don't know, just a plan right now, but when I saw it the first time that a community effect works, because we have a family tree in our product where people can communicate. You don't want to be alone there, right? So there must be someone to talk to, and I want to somehow award these users or give them some bonuses so that they feel safe to invite more people and talk. So make a free access for them.
You've mentioned that you take care of all the partnerships. You work with government. You work with big corporations. Again, as a female CEO and a female leader, what are your secrets there?
Well, first of all, I don't have kids. That's why I have more time to deal with all of that. What's my secret? I think most important is that you have to tell people what you want from them and don't make it transactional. So all my relations are friendships in the end. Maybe even with you after this interview, I don't know, maybe we can continue working together and we will be friends, I don't know. So I know people in corporates and the government, they're very busy. So for them, step number 1 is to find out who I am. And when they check
who you are and what do you want.
yeah. Who I am and what's my plan, like what I want to show them. And it should be 1 page, even shorter. They need to understand the value. For example, when I talk to the government, I say, look, I checked in the internet that people are searching for memorials. It's like 900% growth. 95% of people, when they come to the government, they are asking to commemorate a person those who passed away. This is a special situation in Ukraine, but I'm just explaining them their pain. When I'm talking to them, I say that most people want this. You cannot give them this because you're too busy. You have a lot of things to do. So here's our NGO. We don't charge you for that. We are taking care of these people. We are working with those who are working with veterans. We are taking this pain and we are dealing with this pain. The only thing you need to do is to agree for that modern commemoration practices and make the movies and make the day or evening of commemoration so that your community members, your citizens can come and support each other and say, oh, this is a great idea, and that's it.
Yeah, so to summarize, you approach busy people from government or big companies straight to the point, like one pager to describe the project, start with the pain, provide the solution in the end. Right?
Yeah, provide the solution in the end, but before they start talking to me, they need to know I'm legit.
How do you make sure of that? What do you do?
That's a really tricky part. So I usually go through my other network and connections in the network. For example, I used to work for that Korea Trade Investment Agency that I mentioned before. From there, I have a lot of connections in the government, and they have known me for many years. And they follow me on LinkedIn, they follow me on Facebook, and they say, for example, hey Victoria, can you recommend me to that person, because now my project is about this and I know how to help them, I know how to improve 1 2 3 4 5, can you recommend me to them, and so that I can pitch them what I'm doing? And they say, yeah, no problem, I can do that. So that's only through my connections. And whatever what I've heard about new projects and female founders who are raising their rounds, and I asked them, so how did you manage to raise your round? And they say, it's just because of my network and my connections, people I know, and I invested many years in this relationship, so that maybe in 10 years from our first meeting it worked. So maybe the most number one idea here, I said let's park this idea, is that you need to build your network from school, from university, to make sure you know many people and you can be helpful and they can be helpful. Somehow it's like energy exchange.
Yeah, so everything comes back to people and who you know.
And just in case cold emails work, they work, but it's always the speed of your deal is different. And then when you go to European countries or Eastern European countries, of course they want to know you're legit. When you go to the US, they are open to cold emails. I sent many emails and I got replies, even from investors. And it's just a different culture. It's a different culture. They're open, but still, network really helps, and it just speeds up the process. They say, oh yeah, that's Iryna. I did a project with her like 10 years ago. It was amazing. So I believe this project will be amazing too. So I think this one is a good point, just to build a network.
What do you think is your biggest failure to date as a first-time CEO?
Failure, and it's just because I wanted to be a nice girl, and that's a big mistake. You have to say no, and that was my mistake. That was the biggest failure. I lost like a couple of years of my life because of that. Honestly, I knew that over security of our app as first app was a mistake. I knew it. And I knew that complications like telling people about blockchain and that one, blah, 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 that was like super complicated. And I didn't say no. Because my CTO and my husband and COO, they both wanted to do it. And it's not like they were blind. It's just they were enthusiastic about this. But I understand that it doesn't matter that you have other two co-founders. You are a CEO. And it's on you. You make a final decision. And I had to make this final decision 2 years ago and say, guys, let's move it. I should not, we should not do that. And I just said, okay, cool, easy. And then when I went to investors and I talked to them, they said like, that's super complicated. And I go, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's super complicated. And so we both business people were sitting there at the table having coffee, and we both agreed that my app is super complicated. So it's no go. And I had to say no.
You had to trust your gut, trust yourself.
And there is no such thing as two CEOs, or people say fractional CEO. There is no such thing. That's some pink dream. There is no fractional or two CEOs. Like I'm CEO dealing with a brand, and another CEO is dealing, or the other is dealing with something else. No, there's only one person to take a final decision. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm not right, blah blah. Then I'm not a CEO. I'm a bad CEO.
Yeah, and I think the thing here is much deeper. It's about diversity, equality, and inclusion. It's a DEI problem. It's a core problem. It's a cultural problem. The girl should be nice and good and behave. So
especially Ukrainian girl.
Oh yeah. I know it from my own experience, and I know it as a CEO. But that's the whole different topic for another podcast for the whole hours.
We can do a different podcast when I will be asking you questions and you will be saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Telling the story.
So what is that one advice that you can give to other fellow first-time CEOs?
Number one advice is that if you are not thinking about your project in the shower, if you are not thinking about when you go to bed, then don't start it. It's really hard and really long process, and it's not about money at the first place. You will not make millions at the first year of your startup life, but you will gain a lot of problems, experience. So if you are not crazy about that idea and you're not obsessed, you better don't start it.
Or don't continue.
Yeah. If you think it's something like super hard and it's draining your energy, that's a wrong thing. The same with life partner. If the guy or girl is taking energy from you, that's not the right person. The same with the business. If it's taking energy and you're not happy and you try to escape, you are not obsessed, stop it.
What resources can you recommend as a first-time CEO? What was useful for you?
I would recommend to read Joe Dispenza books, especially I think it's called Art of Not Being You. So that's the book that is teaching you to think differently if you want changes, to get out of your comfort. First, that's really transformational and important. Then Y Combinator resources, they are free. And then if you want to dive deeper into legal, because legal is important, and if you are going to set up a company in the US, check out ORIC. They are free templates for first-time founders, for pre-seed and seed stage. Very good documents, and basically you can do everything almost for free. Just you need to know where to look.
And you guys, I will leave all the links below in the show notes. Thank you so much, Iryna. It was wonderful. I got so much knowledge and inspiration from you.
Thank you, Victoria, for inviting. And I think we still need to do another podcast, but vice versa. I will ask questions and you will reply.
I'm all in. I would love that. Thank you so much, and let's have a virtual coffee soon.
Like, the Koreans doing hearts.
And you guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening today. Speaking of other resources, this will become a book in less than 43 episodes already. So early next year. So please subscribe, follow YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Substack, newsletter. I will leave everything below. And don't miss when the book is going to be published, and you will have a chance to pre-order it and track my progress. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time. And if you want to streamline your operations, remember that we have AI teams that can help you, and you can schedule a direct demo with me.